You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Hello, dear listeners of ARTCAST Radio Podcast. I am Poamen and I will be your host for the two parts of this podcast called There and Back Again, in which we're going to learn more about the journey and the experience of our EVS volunteers from Africa. So without further ado, let's hear what they have to share with us.
Hello, my name is Anastasia Oswald. I am 21 years old. I come from Tanzania and my occupation is mainly fashion. Yes, I breathe, eat and live fashion. My hobbies are exactly the same thing. Fashion, marketing, writing, blogging, just pretty much anything that involves living in the moment. I graduated with a Bachelor of Fine and Performing Arts in 2017 at the University of Dar es Salaam, and since then my life has been a journey. I'm trying to figure out where I can be as an individual, who I can become as an individual, and how to strive against what I already have, like on top of what I already have. And so yes, I decided to go on my EVS because one, it was like, I can say personally, I've been working for as long as I can remember. Oh, it's completely voluntary. Like I've always wanted to learn. I've always wanted to reach to places before, my appropriate time and age. So because of this, I started working when I was like 15, 16 in a magazine on my own designs. First, I wanted to become a fashion designer, so I started working as an independent artist and I was producing clothes. Not per se a collection, but clothes, and I would sell to my friends. But when this moment came for me that I was sent an invitation letter from Bulgaria, from Open Space Foundation, I was really, really nervous because on one side I felt like, okay, really put everything on hold, all my dreams, everything, come on, But on the other side I felt like, no, this 6 months could be a break, but like a breather, but at the same time educational. Like in these 6 months, I only have to learn about how much I will learn, how much I will discover about myself, how much I would become as a person. And that is why I really wanted to join EVS. It's very funny. What I was feeling before the trip was more like I said before, more like, am I really doing the right decision here? Or should I just stay and try to work on my business? Because I knew one thing, and that was I was not going to be employed. But I could say that this was an ignorant side of me because, yes, I have been working from a young age, but I think that I am still supposed to learn, from other people and other examples, especially because I want to get to a point that I know I cannot on my own. So I wasn't exactly nervous, but I was more like sad. Okay, 6 months gone just like that, goodbye, because I was really into my blog, but it was also kind of a bit harder for me to on the same time manage my blog and work, and because in between I wasn't really doing anything. I only had my blog after university and my art, and going back to doing something else and blogging, it became really tough for me. And well, again, living in the moment can be a good thing and a bad thing because that happened. I was mostly sad because I was leaving my parents and my family behind, mostly my parents. and I was just feeling like super sad because it's just the two of them, and I was like, they're gonna be super bored. But that was it. I was kind of excited. No, I was excited because, I mean, to be honest, what I was thinking about was, oh my God, I'm going to shop. But then I'm like, oh, okay, no, focus. So I was excited to learn the new culture, and the language for me was the most exciting part, because I felt like, especially when I come from, language is something most people don't really treasure. You know, just speaking English in my country is a problem. Most people are so patriotic. The only thing they want is to speak Swahili. But for me to actually go somewhere where I literally cannot understand what they speak was so fascinating for me. And the letters made everything super spicy for me. I felt like, I want to learn this language. I wish I had more time to learn it, but it wasn't that much time that I had. But I think I learned a bit something that I needed. My friends, they looked at me funny. They were more like, okay, so you're going to be gone for 6 months? Like, really? But they were supportive, and I'm glad. They were pushing me even when I got homesick, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be home. They were always pushing me, and they were like, no, you have to focus on your dreams and what you want. My expectations in Bulgaria, to be honest, is one, learn Bulgarian. So I can say I did reach this expectation, because in my head I said I want to learn the letters, how to pronounce most words, and how to say basic things. I really wish I set the bar a bit higher, because I did accomplish this, but I feel like I could have done better, and I wish that I could have learned more Bulgarian. The project, yes, it went very well for me, and it was, I think it was okay. Like, I don't know if I can complain. I think it was okay. It was what I saw would be or wouldn't be, and it's exactly what happened. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, the difference in society. Yeah, the winter. Oh my God. I arrived in January. So, I mean, it was freezing. And, you know, walking in the streets and everyone is like, oh, you should be in a blanket. I'm like, I know. That's why I don't go outside. But the thing is, it was pretty challenging for me, because the snow was pretty and everything, but no way. It was prettier from my bedroom. It was very hard for me to go outside because my skin is super sensitive, so I hated it because it would get super dry in the winter. But later I started adjusting, and I was like, okay, let's go out. But it was still very hard, and I hated the slippery ground. I cannot explain. Every time I walked on the ground, I would pray not to fall, and I'm glad I never fell. But yes, the places that I enjoyed, the boutiques. I'm not gonna lie, the boutiques I enjoyed the most. I could spend hours in the boutiques, and I mean, we do have boutiques in my country, but for me, I felt like the prices were ridiculously low. Like, in my country, to go into a boutique like that, in a store, and to find things that are very good and very cheap, dream on. We have markets, and you can go to the markets and you can find something cheap, but inside boutiques and finding something cheap, it's very rare, very, very rare. So for me, those were my favorite places. Next to the parks also. The parks were pretty amazing. I loved the parks. Negative experiences. Let me see. I'm not sure. I would like to call it as negative challenges, because to me, they were more challenging, and it gave me a reason to want to know or to learn how to cope with them. I would say one I don't know if I should call this exactly negative, but I was like an alarm. Everywhere I went, people turned around and looked at me. And I mean, it was pretty cool at the beginning because I was like, oh, Beyonce coming through. But later it got pretty annoying, and people were like, can I take a picture of you? Okay, that was not annoying. But sometimes people would violate you and just take pictures of you. For me, that was very upsetting because why? I'm not a, museum. And if you want to take a picture of me, ask me, and literally people will stay in the same pose for over 10 seconds waiting for you to turn so they can snap your picture and run. I didn't really like that because it was, for me, it was like, okay, what are you gonna do with that picture? Another thing I can say is some Bulgarians, they speak English, but they don't want to speak English, and I know this because I once asked someone if they speak English and they say they don't. And when I moved on, it was actually at Bila, and when I moved to the next spot, I heard her speak English, and I said, really? So I don't know, it's not I cannot exactly blame her. Maybe she was scared to speak English, but that's the thing that I hate. They would treat you like you don't belong there because you don't speak their language. I think it's something that I can understand. My main responsibilities in EVS. First, I would like to say I really loved my receiving organization, Open Space Foundation, because it wasn't just about what they gave us to do, it was about what we could bring to the table to do. That was my favorite part in this whole program. And I was handling the marketing side, okay, not exactly like social media side of the organization. And apart from handling the social media side of the organization, I would time to time do some promotion, for our pages, and also I would perform at the mall. Though to be honest, I was not exactly the best performer there was there. So mostly the podcasts, doing the podcast, producing the podcasts, writing articles for the website. Yes, that was one of my biggest responsibilities, and it also very much helped me to support my blog because I would share the same article that I posted in the website. So that was pretty cool, actually. So the website and the social media, and then we had personal projects that I personally started a fashion club. It wasn't exactly as successful as I wanted it to be, but it ended up in a vision that I saw, and that was a fashion show. So I hosted this fashion show, and yep. Okay, let's see. Yes, I had. Did I have a chance to carry out my own projects? Yes, I did. I really did, and the organization came all out for me. They sacrificed a lot to make sure my fashion show stood out, and it was a pretty funny moment for me because I tend to see humor in a lot of things, especially the challenging things. It was a funny moment for me because I was the first, I think, volunteer to actually host something like this. So my organization were trying their level best. You could see it that they were trying to cope up with me and my demanding fashion show schedules. They really I appreciate that, really. I am very proud, honestly. I am very proud, and I am more proud because the theme of this fashion show, I had a fashion show idea in my mind, but the theme of this fashion show was born in our office. And I remember my director came to me and said, we have this idea, why don't you do this like a cultural heritage thing, and it felt so emotional for me at that moment because I had this idea at the back of my mind, but I couldn't exactly express how to put it because I was short of materials and stuff for making anything to present my culture. And she came to me and said, okay, me and this other lady from the Smolian School of Arts were discussing this because she teaches this fashion design class and they could do Bulgarian. So I was like, perfect. And for me, this was not just a one-time thing. I feel like it is something that I could do it again and again and again in the future. So I am very proud of this because I don't like doing something just one time and that's it. I think that I expressed myself. Yes, I am happy, but if I'm being honest, I would be lying if I said that there weren't any challenges. There were a lot of challenges that sometimes were discouraging to proceed, and sometimes, you know, you feel like maybe I'm burdening these people too much, maybe being too much for them, maybe I should just withdraw, you know. But you're like, no, these people, they're doing this for me, I have to do this, I have to finish, you know. But I can say that I am happy with the results that I got. During my time, I can say I really loved the cross volunteer workshops because where we weren't just we are not just the only organization. There are other organizations and they have volunteers, and even they have they also have they have workshops, and so they would invite different volunteers. So I really loved to go to see what other people have in mind, and you would be surprised how different we think. You know, I'm 21 and I would sit with another 21-year-old and I see the difference in culture, in language, in ideologies, and it was very fascinating for me. I felt like this was the time that I could actually meet a lot of people. The most beneficial thing that I learned during my time, tolerance. I can say that. Tolerance for me is a problem, but I learned to control this thing specifically, to learn to say something out in a way that is not so offensive. I'll be lying if I say it won't be offensive at all, but not so offensive. I'm still working on it, don't judge. So I think tolerance for me was the most important thing that I learned, followed with friendship and confidence. You know, okay, what do I mean? I mean like, you know, not locking yourself in a zone because that's where you're most comfortable at, but to push yourself out there, even if you don't understand what they're saying. They're all speaking Bulgarian, but just be there somewhere, you know. The confidence for me was very important. The thing that I miss the most from my home, to be honest, my parents, the people. I missed my parents so much. I think I still miss them, and I live in their house, so I miss them so much because I was always with my parents, so I miss them a lot. Other than that, I can say the very fast transportation. I mean, I love Bulgarian transportation, but I mean, we have this specifically thing called boda. It's basically a motorcycle, and you can order it, and you just get anywhere in 5 minutes. That I missed. I mean, it's so lazy. Okay. This is a very funny thing for me because my country is a very peaceful country, and I mean, I think I felt this in Bulgaria. I don't know if it was because of my organization and the way they welcomed me with open arms, and it wasn't like a boss worker situation. It was more like we're a family, let's discuss, let's work through this. For me, I felt like it was home, to be honest. I didn't feel the difference. Okay, of course, at first I was like, oh, going to Bulgaria, and I got there, I'm like, okay, they have land, so okay. But the culture difference for me wasn't so big. I mean, it was okay. It was welcoming for me. The people in Bulgaria, they are very nice and funny for me, especially when they're yelling at you and you don't understand what they're saying because they're speaking Bulgarian. For me, again, I find humor in everything. I love that. It even challenges me to learn Bulgarian faster, but I think they're very supportive, and there's so much like in my country, maybe not exactly as humanitarian as Tanzanians, but they are somewhere near, and I would settle in Bulgarian hands down because people are so helpful. You know, this day I was lost and I was going through the same street for like 3 times, and this guy just stopped and he asked me, are you lost? I saw you passing here 3 times. Most places they wouldn't do that, you know, most places, other countries wouldn't do that. So I really like the people in Bulgaria. The thing that was shocking for me in Bulgaria, well, I think the respect on the roads. We have some very crazy drivers in Tanzania. So for me, the way the drivers respect the pedestrians for me was just very shocking. But it was wonderful, and it should be like that. Things that I did here that I wouldn't do in my country. Well, I don't think so. I would do anything pretty much anywhere if I think it's right. So I don't think so. The common thing that Bulgaria and Tanzania has, like I said, the humanitarian, the people, you know, the people are so kind and generous, and they try to help you where there's need. Of course, not all of them are like that in Tanzania, and not all of them are like that in Bulgaria. It's there. But the majority would stop to help you if you needed something, or if you were being harassed or something. It was very, very nice. If I had to share a story, this one day I walked in a tram and I was speaking to my sister on the phone, and this lady was yelling at me in Bulgarian, and I was looking at her like, okay, maybe I'm speaking a bit loud. So I tried to lower my voice and kept speaking. And she kept yelling at me, and this guy came in and started arguing with this lady and said, no, there are a lot of people speaking in with the phone in the tram. Why are you attacking her? You know, that is racist and everything. I didn't even think it was racist until I saw how angry this guy got. And I mean, I don't understand Bulgarian fully, so I didn't understand what she was saying, but people were so angry at her. I think she dropped in a stop she wasn't supposed to drop. But I mean, for me, that is very similar to my country, because if someone attacks you, people will back you up. They will try to protect you or defend you or try to help one way or another. The food. I don't know, is rakia included in this category? Because rakia, I think I will miss rakia. The food also, I really like the food. It's a very different taste, I can say, and at the beginning it was very hard for me to adjust, because in Tanzania we're so used to spices, like not exactly spices, but we have these flavors that you will never find in Bulgaria, and there are so many foods like that aren't there in Bulgaria. Like bananas, we have so many types of bananas. It's not just the fruit, like you can cook the bananas, you can, like, there's so many types. You can fry, you can boil, you can do anything. So there's so many foods that were so different, but I ended up liking them a lot. The cities were very beautiful for me. I loved Sofia the most, of course, it's the capital, and also I really liked Veliko. It was very beautiful and very colorful. Okay, I can't pick a favorite city, so the events also were very amazing for me, especially because most of them were free, or at least the ones I used to go to, so they're pretty good. Things that surprised me. Really, the kindness, I would say. I didn't expect that from Europeans, most Europeans at least. And when I found that most Bulgarians were very kind and generous and caring, it was like, shocker. Okay. Yes, I am very excited that I'm reunited with my friends and family. I like I said, I still feel like I miss them and I don't want to be far from them now, so I'm very, very excited. I am planning actually to start doing fashion workshops here in Tanzania as I started in Bulgaria, and I would like to proceed with what I had planned for Bulgaria, and in the process teach people what I have learned from Bulgaria. I miss my friends in Bulgaria so much, so much, and yes, I will come back to Bulgaria. The thing that I will miss the most from Bulgaria? Rakia. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Rakia. I think for the people that want to join EVS and they're afraid, it's normal. It's very normal to feel frightened or to feel like you're leaving something behind, like you are missing something. And I'm going to be honest, especially if you're in a relationship with someone, it feels like no. But honestly, you don't know what is installed for you unless you take the walk outside the door. Sometimes you think what you see is the correct thing, but the moment you step out of the stage and you start looking on an audience's perspective, you will see things very differently. And I would advise you to shut off your mind, shut down your brain from thinking, oh my god, it's a new country, I don't know anything, or oh my god, the people, the language. I know the language is the most scary, and the winter is the most scary. I know you think all of this, but you just have to close it all in your mind and toss it somewhere at the back of your head and just go with it. Don't think about it, just go with it. Explore, experience. I would say 6 months ago, I was not this girl speaking. EVS changed me for the good. It changed me. It taught me so much that I know right now. It gave me so much tolerance, so much confidence, so much love in my heart. I'm even surprised. So I would advise you to step out of your comfort zone. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Step out of your comfort zone. Embody someone else and step out of your comfort zone. Think of nothing and just make the decision. Trust me, you will not regret it. My final word would be, you won't know unless you try. So, good luck.
Thank you, Stacy, for sharing with us your story. And now it's time for a musical break in which we're going to hear the Bulgarian band SoulBMoll and their amazing song Dumite.
че с тях ще мога всичко да кажа за това, че думите добри, те ни галят, те отварят и заключени врати. Думите, а те ако са зли, огнени стрели пронизват ни, боли когато пада, събарят всичко. Думите, те са всичко между нас. Думите са всичко. Път, мост, бряг, стена, окови. А често забравяме думите, че родени са от мисълта. Мисълта без думи няма как с теб да споделя, но вместо да бъдат без мисъл те, малки думи, мисли без следа. Ето тук, погледни, тук остават другите и нямат ли криле? Няма начин те да полетят те пак. Тогава няма как, тогава няма и да пребъдат те така за векове, да бъдат мъдрости за вечността. Думи подредих, думите в стих събрах, разбрах, че с тях ще мога всичко да кажа за това, че думите, те са всичко между нас. Думите са всичко. Път, мост, бряг, стена, окови. А често забравяме думите, че родени са от мисълта. Мисълта без думи няма как с теб да споделя, но вместо да бъдат без мисъл те, малки думи, мисли без следа. Ето тук, погледни, тук остават другите и нямат ли криле? Няма начин те
Thank you SoulBMoll for this amazing track. You can listen to SoulBMoll on their YouTube channel or check them on Facebook. And now it's time to continue with the story of our EVS volunteers from Africa.
Hey dear listeners, my name is Ivan Twinomu Juni. I am from Uganda. I am a creative facilitator and dance artist at Soul Expressions Dance and Arts NGO in Uganda. I have lots of hobbies, but they all rhyme in art. I do different art styles, including creative writing, modeling. I do theater production with Soul Expressions. We do sports, and yes, I live in Uganda for now, but I lived in Bulgaria before for 6 months, and I recently ended my project with Open Space Foundation. It was a huge experience for me, and it left tears in my heart. I still think about all the experiences I went through as I lived in Bulgaria. My first thoughts about Bulgaria, I expected that it would be a totally different country from mine. It's in Europe, and I live in East Africa, Uganda. And my first thoughts were like, okay, I knew I would find the weather very different from mine, and I expected that. And my first thoughts were like, I would find like people with different culture and beliefs and social lifestyle, which I did. So many things reached to my expectations, and it even went beyond what I expected. So I would say it was a great experience. So yeah, I got so many chances to carry out my own projects. And also being part of the other volunteers projects. I wrote a proposal for one school, and I did that. That was my personal project. I was co-facilitated with Rachel, my partner, but her personal project was a different was tie and dye. I did dance with Rachel in Lulin. It was the personal project that I did, teaching dance for positive outcomes. I use dance as a tool to help the young people get confident with talking to other people, get confident to being on stage. So yeah, that was my personal project. I liked it so much, and we did our main issue was about creating podcasts for young people to listen to them. So I got a lot of skills in the process of podcast creation, because first we had different trainings from the professionals, and we were trained how to start creating a podcast from scratch, and all the procedures they were given to us, so we put into practice, because creating a podcast is it's a hard task, because it has a lot of lines that you have to go through, and because you have to interview, you have to create a script, you interview, then you edit the work, then you post, and then so that was a great skill that I learned from from Open Space Foundation, and to me that I can share here. Like, I learned how to edit, and I can use this tool to help my fellow colleagues to adapt the editing skills, and using social media for marketing. So I did a lot of things in Bulgaria that I wouldn't do in Uganda. For example, I did like okay, it all rhymes with art and culture. Like here, I wouldn't teach like the African dance styles because I'm in Africa and it comes from here. So it would be kind of okay, it wouldn't hit so much like it would hit in Bulgaria. So like teaching African dances in Bulgaria was one of the things that I would do in Bulgaria that I wouldn't do in Uganda, because like we used to do events with Open Space Foundation, and in the different events I would perform traditional African dances, and I would do simple workshops giving them the basics of the dance culture here. So I mean that would rhyme, that would make more sense, like not as here, because here some people know the dances already. So that's it. And so I miss a lot of things in Bulgaria, inclusive the lifestyle. It's very different. I miss the food, the banitsa, moussaka, and I miss tarator. That was my favorite. We don't have a lot of cheese here, though we have, but I miss the Bulgarian way of preparing food, the Bulgarian food culture. It was good for me, and I came back home when I'm a bit, I added on some weight, so people are like, oh, you've grown a bit more huge. I said, okay, this is because I'm from Bulgaria, so I was eating very well. I miss the food, and I miss the lifestyle, the social lifestyle in Bulgaria. So I'm excited to be back home. However, not as excited as I would be if I'm back to Bulgaria, because when I came to Bulgaria, I didn't really, like, to be honest, I didn't really miss home, because I was very sure after 6 months of EVS I would return home. But these 6 months that I've had in Bigi in Bulgaria, I miss Bulgaria more than I missed home, because I'm not sure when I'm returning to Bulgaria, and that hurts me so much. And I miss my people. I miss my people in Bulgaria, and I'm still in touch with most of them. Keeping hopes high, I shall return to Bulgaria. Still need to figure out how I'll get back there, but I indeed miss Bulgaria to the extent that that I'm not settled emotionally. So of course, I miss my friends in Bulgaria, my friends, my people, and I'm emotionally not well. And so I would urge that people who are not okay, people who are afraid to do EVS because they have had some information from people who, like, not the real experience, like, I don't know, I would say that let them give it a try. I gave it a try. It was more than amazing. It was extremely awesome. I I I mean, if there were different EVS applications, I mean, if I can do another EVS, I would apply immediately. I'm still looking for more opportunities, but I would say that people who are afraid to do EVS, they're still playing around. Like, it's an awesome experience. To me, it was. I believe for them too, it can. It's about being positive with life and trying out new things every single day. I trust anyone who would love to try out EVS. It would be the best thing they would ever take, because volunteering is an experience. You don't really earn salary, but the experience you earn is more than the monthly salary one could earn. So I would say being a volunteer is one of my aspects of life. I love volunteering because what you earn from being a volunteer is a great treasure. So I would tell them that let's go for it. Yeah. So I would end by saying that I won't be okay emotionally until I see my people from Bulgaria once again. I would love a second chance. Yeah, thank you very much, Open Space Foundation, for being my host for 6 months, and I thank Open Space Foundation and all my colleagues in Open Space that it was an awesome experience. Home was good. We are hosted 2 people from Uganda and 2 people from Tanzania, and the project Art and Culture for Unity was a great experience for me because it had different lines. It had youth exchanges. It had youth exchanges from different countries in Tanzania and in Bulgaria, and training courses. So it was really gigantic with knowledge and finding people and socializing, making friends and having fun and learning new things every day, which we all want. So I once again appreciate all the people who were there for me, and yeah, until the next time we meet, my name is Ivan Twino Mujuni once again. Yeah, until the next time we meet, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of our ARTCAST radio podcast. Stay tuned and check out our YouTube channel to find more interesting topics.
The project is carried out thanks to the financial support of the European program Erasmus+, K-Action 2, Capacity Building in the Field of Youth.